Hey everyone, how you doing? TarantulaDan here, and thank you for checking out my Q&A video. I want to thank everyone that has sent me a message. I appreciate you taking the time to do so. And I just want to say very quickly that this video is now being split up into parts, just because I've just finished part one, and it's going to be like an hour's long to do the whole video. So I'm going to break it up a little bit and make it a little bit more manageable to watch. So part two will be up very, very soon, and as soon as it is up, I will post a link to that in the description. So thank you for checking out this video, everyone, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay then, everyone, so going straight into the questions, I have them here on my phone. I will be scrolling through and answering all the questions that you will ask me. And thank you to everyone that did ask me anything, and hopefully my answers will be suitable for you, I guess. And I'd like to say that some of the answers I will answer very vaguely, because some of them I'm already planning on doing videos where I will discuss them in more detail. But I will notify you of which videos that they are. So with that said, to begin with, someone asked if it was too late to ask a question. This was actually the very first comment posted on the video about a minute after the video went live. At the time, no it wasn't, but if you were to ask me a question now, then yes, it is too late until the next Q&A video. So yeah, but there was quite a good little thread on that, and it was kind of amusing to read. So the next proper question, should I say, how much money do you spend on your teas every month? That's not really an easy question to answer, because some months my food is all self-sustained. I will do a video on how I keep all of my food, but I have a tub of crickets, locusts, large hoppers, waxworms, things like that, individually for each sort of size of food that I have. And the reason for this is because I have some that is for smaller inverts right through to my larger inverts. Some are only for my reptiles. The ones that are for my reptiles, I keep them differently because I feed them things like calcium, which is bad for inverts. And it's all self-sustained pretty much. I top the enclosures up, the colonies up rather, every now and again, but usually they tend to be breeding and sort of just ticking over quite nicely. The only problem is I take so many from the communals that I have for feeding. I do have to, like I said, top them up. If I were to run out of food, which I do every now and again, usually twice a year, I tend to completely run dry of food. I will spend usually about £40 to £50, but that will then, like I said, last me for a few months, because they obviously breed and things like that. And it would depend on how much I spend on more animals. A lot of you send me requests because you want me to get more inverts and reptiles and things like that. And people don't realise how expensive they are to buy. People think they're cheap. If you're in the hobby, or if you know me personally, you'll know that I will happily spend anywhere from, say, like £5 for a 2 centimetre sling, right up to several £100 per individual spider. So if I make a big order from, say, the Spider Shop or Virginia Cheeseman, and I've got multiple spiders of different size, slings, juveniles, adults, the kind of odd inverts as well as I normally, if I buy other things, that will of course bump the price up. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't even give you an average, to be fair, because one month I could spend several £100, and then the next month I won't buy anything because I've got no new stock coming in, my food's ticking over, but over the year, because if you were to do it that way, I would say probably it would be in 4 digits, a lot of money. I mean, I know at the BTS back in May, I think I spent about £500–600 at the BTS, I think. And that's just one day, let alone my other packages I get throughout the year. So yeah, it's a hard question to answer, because there's so many factors that will affect how much I spend. But the money that I make from making these videos is what I put back into the channel. So I don't make the money and keep it all for myself. The money that I make is what I use to buy spiders for several £100, or a few £100 each, and enclosures and everything else that I do. It all goes back into the channel. So that's a really good question. The next question is, how much money do you think you spent on spiders and spider food and habitats? I don't know whether you mean that in a year or forever, but if I was going to do it, as I've already answered in the last question, over a year, you know, probably several thousand. Over my lifetime of keeping spiders and things like that, how much? On everything, I would say probably between 10, maybe £15,000, give or take. It could be more than that. I don't know. Let's say, I mean, I bought. I remember I did. I can't remember which box it was now. I didn't. I made a package came a while ago, and that was like £800, just for one box. So, yeah, probably between 10 and £15,000 for my collection. That's overall. So, if you could own any tarantula you don't own now, what would it be? That's a really hard one because I tend to. I'm one of these people where if I see a spider that I want or an animal or whatever that I want, I tend to just buy it. I do. I look into it. I see how to keep it, what enclosure it needs. If I have it, if not, I buy it beforehand. I would say it would have to be a replacement tarantula. When it comes to the more expensive tarantulas, I pretty much own them all anyway. I would say probably a bee eratum, because I had one, a juvenile that died about 3 years ago, and I was gutted when she died. So probably a female bee eratum. I just love them. They are such attractive looking spiders. And the Brachypelma genus is my favourite genus out of all of them. So yeah, definitely one of those. I've been asked, your assassin bugs seem fairly easy to care for. My question is, do you have a breeding population and a revolving stock? With my assassin bugs, they are easy to care for. I think I've done a video on how I care for them anyway. Yeah, they are very simple. The only thing I found with them is that as they get bigger, I make sure that there's always food in the enclosure, because I fed them, and it's about 2 days later after being fed. I actually caught one assassin bug eating another. So that was only 2 days after being fed. So they're very sort of, it's like when that switch goes and they're hungry, rather than thinking, oh, okay, we'll be fed tomorrow or in a couple of days, they just think, okay, I want some food and I'll eat you. You're the nearest thing to me. So yeah, they're easy to care for. Make sure there's always food in there. I don't provide a water bowl for any of my animals pretty much. Just give them a spray through and they're quite happy with that. And I haven't brought any more in yet, but with that said, because of having 3 die recently, or being eaten by each other because they're cannibalistic, I will probably be looking at buying some more red-spotted assassin bugs to introduce into the colony, and hopefully they will take and there won't be any problems. That will be a thing where only time will tell. So the next one, off a good friend of mine, TarantulaDan. He apologised for the lack of videos. If you haven't watched his videos, by the way, guys, there'll be a link in the description to his channel. Go and watch his videos. He's fantastic. His content is really, really good. So please check him out. And he asks me, sorry about that, my phone locked up. What got me to keeping tarantulas? And was my first my first exotic pet? So to answer the second question first, no, spiders were not my first exotic pet. My first exotic pet was actually my leopard gecko, which was, I did a video of him a while ago, which is Gex. I've had him for 16 years. I've had several geckos since then, and then started keeping teas. And as for what got me into teas, from an early age I've always enjoyed sort of animals. I was the kind of kid, I would go down the garden with a tub and would capture different insects and things and keep them as pets for the day and then release them later on. I've always liked animals and things, and I will dive into this in another video, as I said at the beginning, But basically what got me into teas, I'd always wanted one, and then I never sort of got around to buying one myself. And then one day I went to my sister's house. Long story short, me and my brother live together. My two sisters, they have their own places. We were split up and kind of went into like the foster care system when we were younger. And the family that my sister went to live with, lovely family. It's really confusing. She was fostered by a wonderful lady, but my sister lived next door with her daughter and her partner. And what happened was her partner bought a tarantula to basically keep the mother-in-law away, if you will, and they kept it in the kitchen. It was a G portery. At the time they were called G rosea, but they were sort of reclassified. So yeah, the G rosea, or the Chilean rosea tarantula, he kept it in the enclosure in the kitchen to keep the mother-in-law away. And she sort of got bored of, not bored, but she sort of got used to the spider, and it no longer scared her. And it was a case of, well, we've got this spider, it doesn't do anything, we don't want it. And so he offered it me, and I said, yep, I love it. And I actually checked up on that, my very first ever YouTube video, 7-8 years ago. I think it's on about 300 views now. And yeah, that was my first spider. And then after owning him and, you know, sort of just watching what it did, you know, which some people say they don't do a lot, but I just really enjoyed keeping it and learning about it. And so that was it. It went from that to 10 spiders to 50 to 100 to several hundred, and it just continued to grow, I guess. So yeah. Okay then, well that's the end of part one, sadly, only because of time. I still have a load of questions written down here, and I don't want the video to go on too long, so I figured about 10 minutes is plenty time to go through the questions. So please check the links in the description, and at the very top there will be the link to part 2 for when that is up. These won't be released all in one go, they'll be sort of staggered. So please check out the links in the description. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. And as always, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you all soon in the next video.